Okay, this is Wanamaker, Rohan, Shah, and Brek Hoenninger's Dogfish Shark Anatomy documentary. And here's our funky little shark. Here we have a nostril, an eye, and a spiracle. The nostril is the external opening to the nasal cavity, which allows for the shark's extraordinary sense of smell. The eye is the source of the shark's sense of sight, and the spiracle is an external respiratory opening, giving the shark an extra way to respirate. Here are close-ups of our shark's ampullae of Lorenzini and mouth. The ampullae of Lorenzini are those tiny little black dots on the end of its snout, and they are the source of the shark's electromagnetic sensory ability, while the mouth is used to intake food for the shark. And now you can see the anterior dorsal fin and the posterior dorsal fin, which help to provide the shark with extra stability and buoyancy while swimming. Also, there's a very clear visual on the lateral line, which allows the shark to sense weak water motions and pressure changes. And lastly, you can see its caudal fin, both the dorsal lobe and the ventral lobe, which build on the speed given by the shark's myomere muscles to help add to its powerful thrust, resulting in incredible locomotion skills. And finally, for the external structures, we have the pectoral fins and pelvic fins, which work with the dorsal fins to provide the shark with the necessary balance and buoyancy while swimming, along with an absence of claspers, which proved to us that our shark was a female. The eye, this is the spiracle, the nostril is right there, the mouth is right here. The whole thing is the snout. The ampullae of Lorenzini is there. The teeth are inside the mouth. The gill slits are right here. This is the anterior dorsal fin. This is the posterior dorsal fin. This is the lateral line. This is the dorsal lobe of the caudal fin. This whole thing is the caudal fin. The dorsal lobe. The ventral lobe. Turn it over. Ugh. Okay. These are the pectoral fins. These are the pelvic fins. Sorry. Okay. That's it. Here we have the liver, which acts as a house for energy reserves, and the gallbladder, that tiny little section protruding from the center of the liver, which stores bile to help break down foods. And now we have the esophagus, the stomach, and the duodenum. After the shark eats, the esophagus is used to push the food down into the stomach, where it is broken down via stomach acid, and then pressed from there into the duodenum, where it is mixed with bile and other digestive aids to begin the absorption of the food's vitamins and nutrients. Next up is the valvular intestine, where the nutrients are finished being absorbed, and whatever's left from that makes its way down to the colon, where the body reabsorbs water and compacts whatever's left from the food into waste to later be expelled from the body. Here are the pancreas and the spleen. The pancreas is there to secrete digestive enzymes, while the spleen creates and houses red and white blood cells for the shark. Okay, this is the liver in the middle of the gallbladder. Goes through the mouth, goes through the esophagus, and then, goes into the stomach, the J shape right here. Okay, and then goes into the duodenum, which is this little curve under the stomach, goes back around into the intestine, which is right here, and the colon, and then goes out the anus.
You're literally stupid.
So, here is the spleen. This is the spleen, and right here, this little thing is the pancreas. The pancreas secretes digestive enzymes, and the spleen houses red and white blood cells for the shark. Here we have our shark's gill slits, which allow for the intake of water and the start of the respiratory process. Right underneath the gill slits, we have the gill pouches, the gill filaments, the gill rakers, and the branchial bars. The job of the branchial bars is to help support the gills with oxygen intake. The gill rakers act as strainers to prevent any unwanted particles from exiting or entering the shark. Gill filaments help with gas exchange, and the gill pouches lead outside the body via external gill slits. Here's our shark's oral cavity with its teeth and tongue labeled, the tongue being the more centralized blocky organ, and the teeth being the more sharp serrated little rows, and they are both used to help tear apart prey.
Go.
Right here are the gill slits, which lead into the pouches, and right in the inside you can see the gill rakers right there. Our shark has 2 tiny rows of teeth right there. This is our shark's heart, which is located in the pericardial cavity of its body, and it contains 2 parts. The erythrium, which is the smaller lobe on top of the ventricle, whose job is to pump blood into the ventricle, and the ventricle, which is the more hidden, bigger lobe, whose job is to pump blood to the gills, then around the body, and then ultimately back to the heart.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. These 2 tubes, the entire length of the body, are the kidneys.
Cool. Okay, ready?
Okay, right here we have the ovaries, which are connected down right here to the uterus, and in the uterus we found 3 little baby shark pups developing. Inside the shark's ovaries we found 2 eggs. Here's a good close-up of the 3 parts of the brain: the hindbrain, the midbrain, and the forebrain.
Okay, here's the shark's brain. The forebrain has the olfactory bulbs, which control smell. The midbrain has the optic lobes for sight, and the hindbrain has the cerebellum and medulla oblongata for movement.
This right here is the eye. This thin white covering over the eye is the sclera. In the center, this black center of the eye is the pupil. The iris regulates the size of the pupil. The shark's lens and retina are in the pupil right there. Right here, connecting the eye, is the optic nerve. And boom, that is it. Thank you.